Welcome back to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin, Charles here.
Wow. I was, during the break, I was threatened.
He was not threatened.
I was threatened.
No, I wasn't. I made a statement of fact.
Was I threatened? Did Harvey just flat out say, I'll kick your ass?
No, I made a statement of fact that I could.
That you will.
You
said you will.
Could kick your ass. Did not say will.
Right. Let's bring in someone who could actually kick someone's ass.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know if you've noticed this over the last couple of days, but WWE champ CM Punk and Chris Brown got into a bit of a Twitter war. Started with CM Punk saying on Twitter, "I would like Chris Brown to fight somebody that can defend themselves. Me curb stomping that turd would be a WrestleMania moment."
So Chris, of course, being the mature guy that he is, responds, CM Punk needs more followers. He's such a leader. Not to mention, the roids he's on has made it utterly impossible for him to pleasure a woman.
Wow.
Adding...
Yes, then Chris added, "CM Punk, contact my assistant and I'll have him send you an autographed pic for my biggest fan."
So then last night, CM Punk responds by releasing a video.
Where picking up trash on the side of a highway does not make amends for repeatedly striking a woman in her face and sending her to a hospital. So Chris wants to throw stones my way now, and I say, that's fine, but put some gloves on and get in the ring. And I will choke you out, and I will make you feel as weak and as powerless and scared and alone as any woman who has had the misfortune of knowing a sad, cowardly little boy such as yourself. And I just know that someday, somewhere, somehow, somebody will put Chris Brown exactly where he belongs, and it honestly doesn't have to be me. I would just really like it to be.
Wow.
Okay.
I tell you, I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared for Chris Brown, but bravo.
I gotta tell you.
It kind of had to be said.
I gotta tell you, I can't wait to talk to him. CM Punk, you're on TMZ Live. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
How you doing, Chip?
Thanks for having me. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
So, I have to say, that was one of the most... Hey, can I ask you, do you have a TV set on in the background?
I'm unfortunately at the airport, so...
I thought I recognized that voice.
I can't tell them to shut up. They're New Yorkers here.
Oh, you could tell anybody. Yeah. I got to tell you, that was one of the most articulate, well-put explanations of Chris Brown's psyche that I think I've ever heard. That was really, really impressive, first of all.
Okay, well, you know, I want to say thank you, but I mean, I'm not even proud of that video. But the fact that I had to do that, you know, we're a society on decline, apparently.
So what do you make of the fact that Chris Brown is getting all this adulation, that he performed twice at the Grammys, that he's now releasing a song with Rihanna, that people are receiving him? What do you make of that?
You know, to me, it's kind of ugly. You know, I'm all for people changing. I'm all for second chances, benefit of the doubt, yada, yada, yada. This guy is clearly not sorry about what he did. You know, he has violent outbursts. He constantly tweets negative, horrible things to people on Twitter and then deletes them, showing nothing but erratic, spontaneous behavior. You know, and he picked up trash on the highway. I don't know what else beyond that he's done to try to make amends for this. And you know, it just kind of skeeves me out. You know, I mean, without getting into Rihanna's business, I think she's a victim in all this. So, you know, if she's forgiven him, that's obviously that's her deal. But you know, I don't really know if it's my place to say I haven't forgiven Chris Brown, not knowing him personally. But where I come from, you put your hands on a woman, you get your ass beat.
So what should have happened to Chris Brown?
At the very least, jail. You know, I'm not an eye for an eye guy. You know, that gets out of hand really fast. And you know, we're supposed to be a civilized country. We're not barbarians. So, but I mean, you know, I had to pick up trash on the side of the highway and do community service when I would get into fist fights in high school, and like I would get arrested for, you know, these silly high school fights. This wasn't a silly high school fight. He put the woman in the hospital. And he shows zero remorse for it.
So are you serious that you would like to get Chris Brown in a ring? Would you actually go through with that?
Yeah, I would. I don't think my company would be happy with it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's unwanted publicity for them. And this is me acting on my own. You know, I don't want to fight Chris Brown at WrestleMania. That gives him money in his pocket. It's publicity that I don't think he deserves. I want to kick Chris Brown's ass. You know.
So this is not like drumming up attention for WrestleMania. We talked about it this morning, and someone suggested maybe that's what's going on.
No, this isn't like, you know, we obviously notoriously use celebrities all the time, let alone not just for WrestleMania. Chris Brown would not be one of those guys we would want to use, you know.
Although it sounds like you'd be happy to have him there.
Who was just talking in the background? I just heard somebody's voice.
Satin.
Say the same thing. I was going to say, for the people that are talking about, you know, it might be a publicity thing, I was wondering if you had anything to say to those people, you know?
Well, the unfortunate thing about, you know, Chris Brown and myself and what we have in common is we live very public lives. So if I lash out at somebody and say, hey, you know, screw you, pal, you know, like, pay for what you did, you know, step in the ring, you know, fight somebody your own size, let's do it for charity, it's, you know, it turns into publicity. And I'm in no way trying to garner any publicity. You know, I mean, apparently Chris thinks I want Twitter followers. I really don't. I want people to know what he did was wrong, especially the female audience that follows him that seems to think what happened was okay. I mean, that kind of makes me sick.
Yeah, that makes sense. And from a fan perspective, every fan would love to see you beat the crap out of Chris Brown. It'd be awesome. So just want to throw that out there.
Well,
so you should make it
I
happen.
think any rational human being, I think any man would like that. And I'm kind of shocked to realize that I'm the first guy to sort of step out and do it. And, you know, he said I accused me of being on steroids, which is clearly laughable. You know, I'm not, it might be shocking to some, I'm not known as a body guy in the pro wrestling scene, you know, but, man, I could wreck that dude, and he deserves it.
Okay, listen,
All right.
Really appreciate you coming on. Really interesting. I mean, it's just interesting that you kind of came out of the blue and got in the middle of all of this. But
And worded it the way you did.
But the way you worded it,
Point
to
out
me,
that
yeah.
all he's done is pick up some trash and do some community service, that maybe that's not enough.
Really appreciate you coming on.
A little, even if he showed a little bit of remorse, you know, I mean, Jesus Christ, God forbid anybody I know ever does anything despicable like he did, you know, and the way you reply to people, because you got to live with that for the rest of your life. He has to carry that. I recommend he fires his PR team because he handled it the completely wrong way. You know, I started the whole thing as a goof, and he really took offense to it.
Listen,
Right.
again, thanks for coming on and safe travels. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Bam Margera.